So Collin Sexton and the Cavs have had an interesting start to the season. They're sitting at 2-4 when I'm making this video, which wouldn't make them a good team, but for a team that's in the rebuilding process, there are things going on there that are very promising. Outside of the emergence of Tristan Thompson's sudden basketball talent and the revitalization of Kevin Love's career, a certain player has made a few improvements to his game and he's really starting to catch my eye. Of course, based off the title of this video, you know that player in question is Collin Sexton. Last year as a rookie, Sexton shocked many NBA fans by proving some of his doubters wrong. One of the main criticisms of his game was his average and inconsistent shooting, but he blew that out of the water. He shot 40% from deep last season, and while it only is an 82-game sample size, it's fair to say that Sexton is at least an above-average shooter, if not a good to great one. At 6'2", he needed to prove to everyone that he could shoot the ball, because if not, it would be hard for him to get to the rim as such a small guard. This year, playing alongside Darius Garland, Sexton has had to change up his game slightly to fit with another dynamic guard. He is still shooting a solid clip from deep, but his off-ball game improvements make him a deadly scorer even when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. Sexton tends to avoid standing around when Garland is running the offense. Rather, he makes hard cuts to open space and gets many open layups off these backdoor moves. While good off-ball play is a solid skill for many guards to possess, Sexton has also made many jumps in his on-ball play that will help him bloom into a top guard sometime in the future. While watching Sexton this year, I've been very impressed with his ability to operate off the pick and roll. Of course, having bigs who can actually play helps, but Sexton takes his time and makes the right pass more often than not. He gets most of his picks from Tristan Thompson, who has actually been a solid finisher in the paint and can actually catch alley-oops now, so that's cool. Sexton also benefits off the spacing that having a guy like Kevin Love on the floor provides for you. He can run in the pick and roll or fade game, but Love is best either as a post scorer or a spot-up shooter, which are two types of players that actually mesh with Sexton really well. Sexton is great at making accurate entry passes to Love or Thompson in the post, and when he drives to the rim, he can make smart passes out to K-Love, who will knock down most of his open looks. The Cavs also have solid catch-and-shoot players like Jordan Clarkson and Kevin Porter Jr. on their roster that will be able to play alongside Sexton for the long run. Hopefully, Sexton continues his improvement this season and for seasons to come. I can see Sexton averaging somewhere around 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists this year. I feel like this is both a very achievable goal and a goal that would prove he is continuing to improve his game. As long as he keeps shooting well from the 3-point line, he won't have any problem getting it to the lane where he's at his best. I can see him upping that to around 23, 5, and 7 next season as he improves his game. Sexton's only 20 years old, so he has a long way to go before he reaches his ceiling as a basketball player. I feel like his true ceiling is as a top 5 point guard in the NBA. I don't think he'll be better than someone like Trae Young, but not many players will be able to say that they're better than him in a few years. So being on the same level as Trae Young will be something that I expect Sexton to chase a few years from now. I really hope the Cavs make the right choice and keep Sexton and Garland together. They already have solid chemistry and their combined inside-outside game works well and generates many open shots. As long as Garland can get his footing down in the NBA and start shooting higher percentages, I can see the Cavs competing for a playoff spot. As for Sexton's defense, I don't really know what to think of it. While he's a solid on-ball defender, I'm not a fan of his off-ball defense. He seems to fall asleep a lot and he gambles way too much, which allows his man to make easy backdoor cuts for unguarded layups. These faults are excusable since he's just 20 years old, but for a guy who came out of college with the reputation of a lockdown defender, I expect more from him. Since he is an undersized guard, he struggles staying in front of his man once they are close to the basket. Stronger guards get their way with Sexton, but as he improves his footwork and strength, he'll allow less drives to the basket, which will eliminate one of his main weaknesses. Hopefully he continues to grow as a player. I've been a fan of his since his high school days, and I'm glad he's panning out well in the pros. Players like Sexton have a place in the league. He plays with passion and grit, something that is not common in the modern NBA. Hopefully the Cavs get rid of Tristan Thompson's huge contract by the time Sexton's contract is up, because keeping Sexton and Garland together is crucial to their future.